What type of meditation is good for me and how to meditate? These are fundamental questions that almost everyone has. What I'm going to do in this short video clip is to give you the different possibilities. First, I will give a description of the theory behind or the theories behind meditation. There is, for instance, a breathing technique, which is considered to be one of the very powerful techniques. A breathing technique is known in different names like breath awareness or looking at the flow of the breath in and out, counting the breath, or taking into consideration the different types of breath, like the prana, apana, dyana, udhana, and there are 10 kind of breaths, and Patanjali talks about the prana and the udhana, and then what kind of a power you will get by observing on this breath. The Buddha is reported to have told his son, just watch your breath. Just put your full attention on the breath, how it goes in and how it goes out. This is all you have to do for 1 hour a day. And if you lose the attention within that 1 hour period, then you have to restart again. So you can see how hard it is to be conscious of every breath that goes in and goes out in 1 hour. Of course, one will certainly be enlightened if one can do that. That's close to impossible to be aware of the breath all the time. But it is a profound technique. The breathing technique is a profound technique because what is happening in the breathing technique is you are trying to understand the mind and the soul principles. First of all, the soul is pure consciousness. The mind is an impure consciousness. So the mind comes out of the soul. So they are vibrations. The soul is a vibration, the mind is a vibration. And focusing attention on the breath has a relationship with the soul's vibration and the mind's vibration, because the mind and the breath are related to one another. Either you can put your attention on your mind or on the breath. This is what happens when you are doing a breathing technique. When you are doing a breathing technique, what happens is the mind goes away, goes to somewhere thinking another thought or have multiple thoughts. So as soon as mind awareness comes, breath awareness goes away. And it would be a great thing if you can have control of the breath and breath awareness. And then you can be like a swara yogi. Swara is the life principle. Because breath is really the life principle, or it is also the mind principle. In Swara Yoga, if you read the Swara Yoga, which is a conversation between Shiva and Parvati, you can even understand the future of not only about you, but about other people who come to you. So by just looking at the swara that runs through either the left or the right nostril, the swara yogi will be able to predict the mind of the person who has come to see you. So that is how powerful is Swara Yoga. But then the difficulty is, how can anybody who has a lot of other obligations in life be able to be a Swara Yogi, or even for that matter, be able to focus attention on the breath? Just think about the prana. And we do not know even the distinction between what is the distinction between prana and oxygen. So these are complications. So at least prana has part of the oxygen that we can accept reasonably. But prana is simply not oxygen. So you are not watching the flow of oxygen and carbon dioxide. That's not pranayama. It is partly, but it is more than that. Then what is prana? So in order to understand the breathing technique, we have to ask the fundamental question. Not many people have asked this question. So if you want to really properly understand this question, what is prana? The prana comes from pranava. Pranava is the sound, Om. So it is from the Om sound, life starts, life energy starts. So when you are able to go to the very fundamental vibration and able to perceive it, experience it, when the mind has disappeared, you have access to the experience of the pranava. Pranava is the fundamental vibration of the world. It's a sound vibration of A, U, Ma, otherwise called in a samashti form as Om. And from that Om, which is very unmanifest, you have the sound of, you have the origin of prana. It all takes place at a very subtle level. So prana starts from pranava. Pranava is the sound vibration of Om or Ha-O-Ma. When you are able to focus on this pranava, then you will understand the entire cosmos, because the entire cosmos is only the expression of pranava. So there is on the one hand pranava, on the other hand the prana. It is easier to go to the pranava and rather than to prana for most people, unless you have in a previous lifetime have mastered pranayama, or sometimes called as Swara Yoga or Vasi Yoga. That's another matter, because of the old background from another lifetime, that you will be able to appreciate this the pranayama, breath kriya, or Swara Yoga, or Vasi Yoga, or Sudarshana Kriya. All these are different names. Breath awareness within the Zen and the Buddhist traditions. They all belong to understanding the breathing. It's fantastic, but then again the complications are very involved. Like how are you going to differentiate prana from apana, from udhana and samana, and the dasa vayus, the 10 different vayus that are involved in doing different jobs within the body and mind. So people who simply talk about pranayama do not address the complications or the complexity involved in the pranayama. Now to go back to the relationship between prana and pranava, and from pranava, which is Om, or the sound vibrations, come the prana, which is the life breath. So, instead of working on the breath, which is very hard to focus and remember and hold the mind on to it, why don't you go to the sound vibration itself, which is the pranava, Om? Because Patanjali himself, although he was mostly an atheist, accepts God in terms of Om. He says Om is God. He can accept that. He won't be able to accept, at least the Patanjali of the Yoga Sutra will not be able to accept different gods like Vishnu, Ganesha, or Shiva. But he would accept, yes, I can accept Om as God, which is because everything starts with the sound vibrations of Om. So then why not go to the sound meditation? Not necessarily Om, but then there are also meditations on different sound patterns that carry different effects on the mind and the body, and also creating certain events. The vowels all have certain inbuilt energy that create a certain effect. Like A, for instance, is pure consciousness. A is a creative principle. E is Icha Shakti. U is Jnana Shakti. So you can see the sounds are involved in creating certain impact, are involved in creating a certain energy within the body. So that's why I basically prefer doing sound meditation, even if it is a japa, like saying God's name, Rama, 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 Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. A million times will be a lot more easier. A million times is not easier, let's say 1,008 times. It's a lot more easier and a lot more powerful, a lot more profitable than watching the breath. Okay? And so that's why all my meditations focus on using sound waves, because you are also, by chanting a sound, you are calling on God. Okay. Then, through the practice of the sound meditations, calling on different gods, like Aim for Saraswati or Shreem for Lakshmi, you are getting a lot out of these sound waves. And there are, of course, very many subtleties involved in using the sound waves, and very many sophisticated ways. But at least, as I said, even if you are not sophisticated, you simply do a japa. Japa is just saying, say, Ram, 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 Ram. Or the Hare Krishna people say, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna. Do it 1,000 times or 1,008 times. So to me, I think it's a lot easier to do that. And what I will do is, I will have another video made on other forms of meditations. They are also very complex and not as easier as the mantra meditation. But for the sake of giving you theories, I will make another video for you.